I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.
Your summer starts now with Memorial Day deals at the Home Depot. It's time to fire up summer cookouts with the Next Grill 4-burner gas grill on special buy for only $199. And entertain all season with the Hampton Bay West Grove 7-piece outdoor dining set for only $499. This Memorial Day, get low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. While supplies last, price and valid May 14th through May 27th. U.S. only, exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
You said this place was steps from the water.
We just haven't found the steps yet.
How much did we save?
Enough.
Enough to get lost?
Or you could book a stay with Hilton.
Welcome to your oceanfront room, just steps from the water.
The Hilton sale is on now. Book on Hilton.com or the Hilton app and save up to 20% to get the stay you expected. When you want savings, not surprises, it matters where you stay. Hilton, for the stay.
Sarah, what's the best food duo?
I'm probably going to go, I'm going to say sweet and savory. Like, I like them both on the same plate. But if I had to pick, I would probably say corn and blueberries. Corn and blueberries. Corn and blueberries. Corn and blueberries, yeah.
What? Educate me, please.
Like, think like cornbread skillet cake. You know, like you put cook it in the cast iron skillet with like little bacon fat in the bottom, and then you put maple syrup all over the top. Or like, think about like blueberry muffins, but you make them with some like cornmeal. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Anytime I see corn, blueberry, maple is my favorite.
That's a trinity. That's a holy trinity. That's not a duo.
I know. It's either that or peanut butter and chocolate.
Oh, yeah. Reese's peanut butter cup type deal.
Yeah.
I'm going salt and pepper. Now, that seems very easy, but I'd love to read the story of how salt and pepper became on every table in every restaurant. Is there like an origin story that I don't, some historical trade route that made sure that every table had not just salt, but also pepper? And how come black pepper? Is that the most ubiquitous, easiest to grow? Is it the most mild of the peppers? There's a story here is that my first Halloween costume as a kid was me and my twin sister were salt and pepper shakers. And it's an easy, put a bed sheet, kind of look like ghosts, and one had an S and one had a P. And so I was salt and pepper. And so I feel like that's the best duo. Do you have any sort of insight as to why salt and pepper became like the spice duo? And is that globally?
No, it feels, I've Googled it. I put the Googs in, and it feels like pepper was a very rare and luxurious import. It says it started here with maybe King Louis the 14th. I think that's what that says. 16th. I don't know. And he required it on every table. My Roman numerals might be off. But that it didn't become a thing until the 17th century. And then they started to put salt and pepper on every table. And it was because it was luxurious.
Yeah. I'd imagine that there's some sort of like premium aspect to it that it's stuck from there. And it's a European thing, not an Americanized thing.
Yeah. But it's interesting because it's saying here that it was a rare and luxurious import. But then somebody else says it was the most common spice. So it didn't, like, everybody had it. You just had salt and pepper. Right. I don't put salt and pepper on the table at the restaurant.
Yeah, because you don't need it. Because it's already perfect. You don't need it. As someone asks for it, you're like, I'm going to help you out here. But do people ask for it?
They ask for it every once in a while. And I'm going to admit something publicly. I will say, if you ask for salt and pepper at my restaurant, it will take us a little while to get it to you, so that hopefully you'll just get it, not like too long. You know what I mean? Like, we're not like making you wait forever. but we don't just like rush and grab it and like bring it back immediately. Hopefully they'll take a bite and they'll be like, oh man, I don't need salt and pepper. But yeah, I think some people just get it and they just automatically put it on their food. They just automatically think it's not going to be seasoned.
So you're hoping that it doesn't come up again.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're taking it to you. We're just like, trying to watch and see.
You came here because our food is good, and it's almost, is it a preemptive slight to be like, if I could just get some salt and pepper, please?
Yeah, people will ask for it before the food even hits the table. It doesn't happen that often anymore. But when they do, I'll be like, just wait and see if you see them take a bite first. Back in the server's alley. Or they'll like, the servers want to like hide. They don't want me to see them asking for salt and pepper. But I also feel like it's because then they just put the salt and pepper on it without even asking. And they think that they made that food taste that delicious, not us.
It's a power move for sure. And one that you deserve, right?
Yeah.
You've worked hard to make the perfect dish, and salt and pepper on the table is almost like our food is imperfect. There's a time and place for salt and pepper on the table, but not at Freight House.
No.
And be careful if you ask for it.
No, but I will tell you what is on the table right now at Freight House. Corn and blueberries. Maybe that's why it's my favorite pairing right now, because it's like in season. So it's like what I'm thinking about nonstop.
This is Pack Your Knives. I'm Tom Haberstroh.
I'm Sara Bradley.
Sara, you can play the taps. You can play whatever. It's over. Closing time.
You should start. Just go ahead and start. Let everybody know what's going on. What are we talking about here?
Let all the doors in. Let you out into the world. Closing time. The score is 167 to 44.
That's perfect.
Yeah, 167 to 44 in the tune of Semisonic's hit. Closing time. Sara, all my chefs are done. Anthony goes home. He did a duo. Jonathan did a duo. A lot of duos happening in this episode. So that's why we led with what is the best duo, because there's a lot of bad duos in this episode. And if there's one thing we should know about Top Chef is you don't do a duo, just do a single. And both of them, they kind of said it. Was like, I should have just done the drumstick, or this didn't feel like a complete meal, but you know what? I wanted to do carrots and rabbit. So Jonathan and Anthony were in the bottom. My last chef on my team, the last hope for me, goes home, and I think he deserved it. I don't think he did his best work here on this one.
It's so interesting because at this point, like, we're so invested in all of them, and we've seen them all do really well. Like, they've had high points, low points. Anthony was doing really good lately. And so I wasn't expecting it. I thought for sure I thought when he was talking about his dish that he was going to just blow it out of the water. He was like, got this great idea. It's kind of whimsical and fun. And he started talking about it. And then the moment that I saw them put the plates down and I noticed like that the egg roll wrapper, did you notice it had rolled all the way to the edge of the plate? I was like, oh, he's done. I was like, it just looks too odd right now. It looks too odd. It's not going to eat good. That thing has got to be dry as bone because it's just rolling around. Like, there's no anything there holding it together. So bye-bye, Anthony. But there's a good thing about this, though. I will automatically win. So I've won.
Oh, come on.
So
I thought you were trying to be nice, and you just took the dagger and twisted it a little deeper there. Yeah, you have 5 chefs. You drafted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chefs. You drafted 7 chefs, and the final 5 standing are all on your team with several episodes to go. And one of those that you drafted, Sherry, with one of your top picks, I felt like this was the Sherry episode. Let's be honest. We led with Anthony and Jonathan because they were at the bottom and the duos. But can we talk about Sherry? What would be the Dwayne equivalent of Sherry? Would it be Gary? Would it be Jerry? Like, what is the alter ego of Sherry? Maybe that's just her ego. Maybe that's just who she is. Where she was on this episode, they showed a fiercer side to her. She was having, she was like, Jonathan, hey, back off, dude. Enough. I'm in my own head here. I'm not in the right space to play nice. She's doing the meditation. She's trying to get herself grounded. And she said something in this episode. She said, what have I made that is not fucking good? And that's the problem. She's been in the middle the entire season, basically. And I feel like we talk about Seeger not approving of the judges or not feeling like he's getting a fair shake. Sherry, she's got an axe to grind in this episode, and she came through and vindicated all of those feelings and finally arguably won the quickfire and then won the elimination challenge. So hats off to Sherry. She did it. She climbed the mountain and she told all the doubters, double bird, I'm here and I can win this whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, she definitely, she hasn't made anything that's not delicious. And honestly, Sherry, this is the game, right? Like, you don't always have to be in the top. That's what I've said the whole time. You don't always have to be in the top. You just can't go home. And so here she's put herself to the final 5. And now this is when it matters. Now this is when you compete at a different level. Not that you're not competing all the times before. It's just you can cook a little safer. And I do think she has cooked some safe dishes, even though they were never bad. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe if she was like, had a fantasy, like, I don't know, I'm like Sherrick, like a war lord Norse fantasy name.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know. I can't think of one. But I'm glad she got the one. And I'm glad she got the one cooking food that she's very proud of. And that she's kind of said, fuck you, Tom, I'm going to cook what I want. Loved that. Loved it.
Yeah, you need that kind of instinct, right?
Yeah.
But man, she had the talons out on this episode. She was, I think she was just so singularly focused. And I love that about her is she knows what she does. She has a vision and she is stuck to that the entire season. And she's been unwavering and she delivered on the Michelin star episode she's been in Michelin star kitchens. She knows the type of food she cooks and she finally did it. And, look, she's been in the high. I'm looking at the standings here. She's been in the top 3 or at the high tier 5 times entering this episode. In the low tier, because it was a team challenge in episode 3. Basically, she's never been in the bottom 3. And she's been rolling in the middle or in the top 3 for 5 episodes. This is the 6th time. And so in terms of just like crouching tiger, hidden dragon, just lurking, Sherry has been here the whole time and ready to pounce. And she just did it.
I mean, didn't she say, like, she said she was coming for blood. Like, she was ready. She was really upset. And I agree. I would have been angered if I had just moved to the right halfway through cooking my dish. Because, I mean, Rhoda pretty much said she didn't do anything. She just made sure her food was seasoned to her liking and then put up Sherry's dish. That was it. You know?
Ooh, there was a lot of beef there.
They were not happy about that.
She was not happy. All right. So So Try Guys. I don't know the Try Guys. I don't watch the show. Are you a fan? I feel like I'm so out of touch with pop culture this season. Even it's my city is Charlotte. I feel like a lot of the guest judges, I'm like, sorry, I don't know that comedian or I don't know that show. Southern Hospitality, Southern Charm. I don't watch that. Try Guys. Sarah Bradley. Are you a fan?
They're YouTube people.
Yeah.
And I know a couple years ago, they were on the heat list for like the Food Network does, like puts out like a hot list every year. And they were on that. But other than that, that's all I got. I got nothing. And then they also, it's like they had the Try Guys and then one of their executive producers.
Sure.
That was weird. It was a little weird. Like you're going to give you the front center guy and then the behind the scenes person.
They made it work. Maybe it was like a sub, but like I don't watch the show enough to know. But they are known for trying things, hence the name. And so they weaved that into the quickfire challenge, which was We're going to put some of the elements of this quickfire to a vote amongst the social media channels at Top Chef, and the audience is going to choose which one they want. And the first part, they're at the Greenville Swamp Rabbit Greenway Park area, which looked beautiful, looked awesome. Kind of one of the things I think about Greenville is the outdoors and the city center and the activity. It's a great spot. And the first thing was either peaches, boiled peanuts, or pawpaw. And as we learned from Sherry, I don't know if you have any familiarity with this, is that it'll make you poop if you eat the skin or the seeds. The pawpaw makes you poop.
Yeah, pawpaws, they grow everywhere around here. They're like a very, very Kentucky ingredient. They're really good to make like a custard with, a pie with, like a pudding with, anything like that. They have this really creamy texture. They're delicious. But the picture that they showed is not how you would eat them. They showed them like these perfect green fruit that they pulled from like the internet. You eat them when they're ugly. You eat them, you want to wait till they look like a bruised black banana, and then you eat them.
Your favorite type of banana, as I've learned.
I hate bananas like that. My God. But yeah, you want them to be, you don't want them green. You want them to get all kind of bruised and busted up. And I love pawpaws though.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
You were probably rooting for that to be selected.
I totally would have taken pawpaw.
Yeah.
I mean, you treat it kind of similar to like the flesh of durian or jackfruit. It doesn't have that flavor at all. Or like almost like you ever have those like champagne mangoes?
Yeah.
Ones that are, the little ones with the thin skin. The flesh is kind of like that.
Okay.
Really good.
Well, Peaches wins, and Peaches goes on to, you have to do a peach dish. They have $50 to shop. They hop in the pedicabs, which is always fun after a late night. And they have them here in Charlotte, but I guess in Greenville, it's a lot more popular. And they said, drop your knives and go, which was nice. And they go to the Swamp Rabbit Cafe and Grocery, and they all got the same freaking thing, which is a crostini, because the stecca bread, they all got free stecca bread. And so they all decided, except for, who was it? Except for Jonathan, and
Sherry.
Yeah. And Sherry, they basically had this crostini dish. Hot take, I don't like crostinis. I don't like how it's like biting into like a brick sometimes, and it hurts the roof of my mouth. And so if I have a soggy crostini, I actually don't mind that, because then I can actually bite it and it doesn't like explode in my mouth. So I actually, if I'm doing finger food and I see a crostini, I'll do it, but I'm not happy about it. So I was kind of bummed when I saw that they were all doing it.
I agree with the crostini, because it's either going to be really, 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 really crispy, like so crispy that it cracks in your mouth and cuts the roof of your mouth, or it's just going to be really crispy on the outside and soggy in the middle. I don't like that. I like fatunta, like big, thick, sliced grilled bread, and you like rub garlic all over it. That's the way I would prefer it. But yeah, like the crostini, not into it. Not into it either.
So they know, Sarah, that there's going to be a curveball, because, that seems too easy. Oh, we put it to a vote. Peaches, go shop for it. The second curveball is they gotta either do 15, 20, or 30 minutes. And the audience selected 30, which shouts to the audience. I didn't think that was going to happen, but I think the audience at a certain point realizes 15 is just not enough time to actually do some good cooking.
You can't get enough. I would have definitely bought a protein. I was thinking about it. Like, what would I have done to set myself apart from everybody else? I'm not talking about needing a lot. Maybe a few slices of bacon, just so you could have that like bacon fat infused, or maybe 6 shrimp, so you could serve like poached shrimp. Because when you get back, the curveball might be that you have to use everything you've purchased, but that's not much of a curveball, right? Like, you have to use everything you bought. So I probably would have bought something that I didn't see. Like, I agree. I didn't need burrata. Everybody put like a creamy dairy. They had herbs. They had bread. It was literally pretty much all this. They all made like a green herb puree. We see raisins in 2 different dishes. I do not put raisins and peaches together. Nowhere in my mind do raisins and peaches exist in the same world whatsoever. That was bizarre to me. Yeah, I would have bought some protein, just a little, not a lot, just a little,
Right.
little bacon.
But when you move to the right, then the protein goes bye-bye. So this curveball that they threw in there, where it was either move to the right, add foam, or make a sandwich, 100% know that you're going to peg the audience to be like, move to the right. That's fun. Like as soon as they added those categories, like, oh, this is for sure. They're going to make them move to the right. I would venture to say that was like an 80-10-10 split on the votes, I'm guessing.
Well, I liked when they said add a foam, they like shifted right away to Jonathan. They like shifted to, because he's always like putting the foams on stuff. They're like, add a foam. And they like shifted. And like looked excited for a second. And a sandwich, I mean, they all would have been good. But if that's the case, Sherry still could have done something with her tortillas. She could have made essentially a sandwich, Yeah. Move to the right was the obvious decision.
Remind me, did you have anything like that? Or is like we have to pick up from someone else's station, or you have to any sort of gimmick like that on Top Chef? Anything like when they announced it, did it? Oh, this brought me back.
Yes, one time, season 16, we had to go shopping. We were doing like a Christmas episode, and it was Brooke Williamson and Richard Blaze were the guest for it. And they came out and we all had to they gave us a box and we had 2 minutes to put everything we wanted for our dish in that box. And then we had to bring them back over. And then we played Dirty Santa for the boxes. I got a great box. Mine was beautiful. I picked Kelsey's. It had chicken livers, eggs, peas, bacon, all this stuff. But Kelsey, I remember, got Brian's from Young Buck, the hat you're wearing. Mm-hmm. And inside it was deli ham and asparagus. And that's all he put in his box in 2 minutes was a chunk of deli ham. And
not asparagus. Country ham. This was deli ham.
No, straight up deli, water deli ham. What was he even thinking he was going to make? I don't know.
Maybe he knew.
Yeah. And then I remember Padma saying, I wish you'd worked some more ingredients in there, Kelsey. And Kelsey was like, what the fuck was I what was I supposed to do? I had deli ham and asparagus. So those ones are tough. Because you get in your head what you're going to cook and then they take it from you.
Yeah. And luckily, I guess in this one that they're all pretty similar vibes on the dishes. So it wasn't a total U-turn for these. But nonetheless, Sherry was livid about it. Because as we've talked about earlier, she has a vision. She knows what she's going to do. And she felt like this was going to be the winning dish, the winning combination. And Rhoda gets the peach burrata tostada with corn relish, chipotle aioli. And Rhoda wins the $10,000. And Sherry, the whole time, is just taking jabs left and right, being like, that's my dish. So you plated my dish. Congratulations. If I could ask Rhoda after this season, one of the questions would be, did you share with Sherry on the winnings from this quick fire? What would you have done, Sarah?
I don't think they let you. I mean, I guess you could afterwards. Venmo, I guess if you want to pay taxes on it and then Venmo her some money, you can. But you're going to pay taxes on those winnings. So, Kelsey tried to give me on the boat one. She tried to give me the BMW driving experience, and they said no. They said it was hers. It was in her name. No. I said, okay. All right. Yeah. And I tried to give my Derby tickets to someone else because I was 38 or 39 weeks pregnant and I couldn't go. And they wouldn't let me. So, yeah.
So I guess in spirit, Rhoda is going to take care of Sherry. But in terms of the actual winning, she's not going to earmark $5,000 to Sherry, probably, or whatever tax taken out of that, what it ends up being.
A quick message from today's sponsor, the ASPCA Pet Health Insurance Program. One time, my wife and I were getting home and we found that our dog had gotten into some stuff that, let's just say, they should not have eaten. They weren't acting like themselves, they had peed, and we started freaking out. But luckily, we had ASPCA Pet Health Insurance. It helped take the financial question out of the equation, so we were able to focus on getting our pet the care that it needed instead of worrying about how much it was going to cost us. Plus, when you enroll in an ASPCA Pet Health Insurance plan, you could get a $25 Amazon gift card. It's a little treat for you while you're doing something great for your pet. Because big vet bills never show up when it's convenient, do they? To explore coverage, visit aspcapetinsurance.com/dings, D-I-N-G-S. That's aspcapetinsurance.com/dings. Eligibility restrictions apply. Visit aspcapetinsurance.com/Amazon terms for more info. This is a paid advertisement. Insurance is underwritten by either Independence American Insurance Company or United States Fire Insurance Company and produced by PTZ Insurance Agency Limited. The ASPCA is not an insurer and is not engaged in the business of insurance. Hello, listener. Producer Mays here to talk to you about Quince Cookware. I know cooking can feel like a lot of work these days, especially when the temptation to order takeout is stronger than ever. But trust me when I say that quality cookware makes a big difference in your experience cooking at home. I just got myself a set of 3 Staub rectangular baking dishes. Yes, that's Staub because it's French, and French means quality. It's made of Portuguese durable stoneware. It's oven safe up to 570 degrees Fahrenheit. You can even throw it in the freezer if you want. And the best part is, I know I got them at the best possible price. Because everything at Quince is priced 50 to 80% less than what you'd find at similar brands. You heard me right. High quality materials for half the price. How could such a thing be possible? Well, Quince works directly with manufacturers, cutting out the middlemen and passing the savings on to you. Now, Quince even carries fine wine, from Napa Valley Vineyards to Dom Perignon Champagne, enough to fill an aisle. Ho ho! So what are you waiting for? Refresh your everyday with luxury you'll actually use. Go to quince.com/dings for free shipping and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. Go to QUINCE.com/dings, D-I-N-G-S for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/dings.
Some things are impossible to miss, like an elephant in the room, or a bull in a china shop, or this season's amazing offers, brought to you by PayPal. Discover offers from hundreds of brands like Viator, Allbirds, and Tory Burch right in the PayPal app. Save an offer before you check out with PayPal and earn unlimited rewards. Download the PayPal app to get started. Terms and exclusions apply. See paypal.com/rewards terms.
Jonathan ends up doing the heirloom tomatoes with peaches, sardines, and green harissa. And then Seeger does the sunflower seed. Ayad, with whipped feta and dill.
Yeah.
Sherry does the gochujang, peaches, tomatoes, fresh basil pesto. The arugula was a little bitter, but
why'd
whatever.
you put it on the plate? Why'd you put it on the plate? She said it was bitter. She's like, oh, and it's just got this bitter puree. You don't have to put it on the plate. The challenge wasn't to execute their dish. It was to take the mise en place that you had and do something. And I'm sure there was sugar in house. I know that, maybe there wasn't.
Come on. Right?
I feel like they give you a few things. I don't know, maybe not. Because somebody was buying honey. Maybe she didn't have any food.
If she was in the same headspace as I would be, I'd be a little bitter myself. And maybe I would, as a martyr, be like, I'm going to use whatever they gave me. So screw it. Yeah. Then again, the competitor in me would be like, no, don't put anything on the plate you're not happy with. So Anthony did basically the same dish as Lawrence with the crostini with whipped feta as the base rather than yogurt, which is what Lawrence ended up doing with the raisin relish. And Anthony had the toasted almonds. The bottom 3 was Jonathan, the sardines were too strong. Anthony, the cuts were too thick. And Seeger, kind of the same note, was just too big on the plate. The cuts were. On the top was Lawrence. The texture, they really enjoyed the textures and the pop of vinegar. Rhoda, the chipotle married with the peaches. Who would have thought that was a great combination? Well, Sherry did. And she just giggles her way to $10,000. Seeger, the dill worked really well, and the sunflower seeds. I'm actually someone, when I was a kid on road trips with my family, I'd be the kid popping sunflower seeds. Still to this day, you like to joke with me about how I was like basically the one that got away from the big tobacco, because I was already doing the lip of beef jerky. I was already smoking the sugar cigs, and yet I never got into smoking cigs or chewing tobacco, which is impressive. And then you throw in the fact that I was dipping basically sunflower seeds my whole life. I love a good sunflower seed, so it was good to see that here. But really, what I you know what? I just figured it out right here on the show. I just figured out why I have such a salt tooth, and it's probably because I was huffing sunflower seeds and how salty they were my entire childhood.
I totally thought you were going to say, I figured it out. This is why I have ADHD, because well, you have to have something, right? Like you're constantly like doing something with your hands. You're kind of like thinking, you're like, I'm going to pop these sunflower seeds. I'm going to grab these candy cigs and smoke them. I'm going to be packing beef jerky in my lip. That's where I thought you were going.
Yeah.
I didn't think you were going salt. I thought you were going like, this is why I'm a fidgety, but you don't seem that fidgety, but I thought maybe that's where it was headed.
Salt. It's all about the salt. I think that's where it came from. Thank you for this therapy session. Now I figured out where it all started and the origins of, and what does that mean?
My family, we didn't do sunflower seeds. We did pistachios. You had to crack the pistachio open, and but you put the whole thing in there and you sucked all the saltiness out of it. Yeah.
Pistachios are having a moment, Sarah.
They have been having, I feel like they're hot right now. They've been hot for a while though. Yeah.
Yeah. Like my buddy was just grabbing coffee and he's like, get the pistachio latte. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I was at Bobby's Burgers yesterday, and they have like a chocolate shake. They have a peanut butter shake. And then they have a pistachio shake, like 3 flavors. And growing up, I think McDonald's might have had a pistachio flavored ice cream, but I have this like weird, my dad loves pistachio ice cream.
I feel like we've had this convo before. Yeah, I remember this. Your dad, he was like, had pistachio. Okay, I got it. So
like, I feel like pistachio's having a big moment now, but then again, they did a big marketing push with, Super Bowl ads a couple years ago. So maybe it's been here. But yeah, there's a whole, you would prefer that you shelled your pistachios by hand rather than getting it.
I mean, it's just, it just makes the dining experience more fun, right? Like the way I want to pour out my Cheetos into a bowl and eat all of the large Cheetos and then the medium Cheetos and then the small Cheetos and then save the tiny Cheetos. Like I want to like eat with my fingers. I would rather pick a crab or get shrimp with the shell on. I like to meticulously, I like to take my time. So I'm going to eat my pistachios in the shell.
What about Lucky Charms cereal? What's your move there?
Oh shit. Well, you got to eat all of the marshmallows first.
Yeah.
And then who cares if you even eat the other stuff? But if you left the marshmallows to the end, they would be too soggy. I would want them crunchy.
They become like a goo if you leave it.
You got to eat them.
Yeah. But at least the milk is delicious. If you're not eating the actual cereal part of it. I thought of you, Sarah, for this elimination challenge because of Alone. A lot of rabbits in Alone, the show. When they're out, they have to cook, they have to, hunt. And sometimes they end up having to get squirrel or fishing for trout or pike. But oftentimes they'll get rabbit, and note how little fat is on these things. So it's gonna hold you over, but you can't sustain several months in the wild on just rabbit because it doesn't have as much of a fat content as, say, porcupine, for example, happens a lot on the show. So I thank you, Sarah, for so much in my life, but also for introducing this show Alone, so I would know more about how rabbit does not offer the same fat content as some other animals that you might eat more commonly. And therefore you have to add whether it's oil or caul fat, like Seeger was looking for. And so I was learning a lot about this in this episode. Hey, you got to make sure there's a lot of fat content on this.
Okay, so 2 things about rabbits. Number 1, we used to have a person that sold rabbits to the restaurant, and they sold us, they were called Flemish Giants. Flemish Giants. I want everybody to look them up. They weighed like 15, 20 pounds. They were huge. Those rabbits that they were butchering, A Flemish was like 3 times that size. It's so much meat too, like huge, lots of meat, a little fat, not a ton of fat, but their kidneys and their livers were always just huge because I want the rabbit kidneys and livers. Like rabbit kidneys are probably one of my favorite things to eat. Yeah. So you gotta Flemish Giants, look them up. Are you looking one up right now?
Yeah, I'm looking.
Gargantuan.
I mean, are you kidding me with this?
Right? It looks like somebody's big, huge, fat cat. Another thing, a lot of people don't want to eat rabbit on a menu. It's a hard sell. Like we would put it on the menu and sometimes it would be a hard sell for us.
Did they allude to that on the show? I feel like they might have.
I don't know.
Why do you think it's a hard sell? Is it because they don't associate it with, they think they're too cute to eat, or because they're not as...
I think people think of them like as an animal, like a pet. You know, they're like a pet. They're gentle. They're docile. You can pick up a rabbit. I've never been bit by a rabbit. You know, I've never had a rabbit like snarl at me. They're just really cute and soft. And, you know, but the other thing is I cooked rabbit on my finale of Top Chef.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So don't act like it's too hard to cook. But all of the things that you talked about were things that I needed. So I did the rabbit loin and I stuffed it with a farce of the kidneys and livers and then rolled it in prosciutto, I think, and roasted it. And then we made like a croquette from the legs that we rolled in caul fat. So like it needs that additional fat. It is imperative that it has that stuff. Yeah, but I remember I served rabbit burgoo, which is just bizarre. I just remember just them thinking about me serving burgoo, and I was like, yeah, it's no problem at all. I got this.
So the roulade that Seeger did, you were like, yeah, hell yeah.
Perfect. The way he took the offal and emulsified it back into the farce, which is like what we would like. I think Rhoda called it sausage on hers. The farce is like what is the filling, especially like in a roulade like that. Yeah, his was just when I saw him doing that, and then when I saw him roasting it, he was temping it. I just thought for sure he was going to win it. Yeah, and it looked so nice and elevated, right? Like a hazelnut and cauliflower puree, that charred endive. Charred endive like that is one of my favorite ingredients. It's like bitter, but I feel like when you cook it, it gives you the texture of like an artichoke heart. Yeah. But like different, and you just have the brown butter. I thought, I don't know. I would have wanted to eat rabbit. I would have wanted to eat Seeger's rabbit over Sherry's, but Sherry's might have been more flavorful.
They said it was like a flavor bomb. Really interesting spices, and you could feel it from the other chefs when she won, and they were like, there you go. It was almost a passive aggressive, like, all right, we can stop hearing about, you know, this entire season that you've gotten a raw deal this year. Finally, we can put it to rest. So she wins, and it's this relief.
Yeah. I mean, she and Seeger are both like that. Like Seeger, I don't remember, you know, exactly. Like Tom says, like, it's a memorable dish. You know, they were saying it's very Michelin style. Gail said she loved it. And, you know, and Tom said like it was almost perfection. He's like, did all the cameras get that? Like, you know, I mean, yeah. Yeah. So
it's not the most charismatic thing to do that, inviting thing to do that, just to feel like you're scorned all this time. And yeah, the Magical Elves edit, or the edit's going to be trying to get some of that drama and infuse it into the show. But you're right. It's like Seeger and Sherry are both kind of cut from the same cloth this season, of that we feel like we should have a bunch of wins under our belt. And so it's cool to see him in the top.
You know, I'm going to say, talking about the edit, this one was fun, right? Like I heard a lot of music that I don't normally hear. Oh. Like you were talking about the sound effects last time, like when they were riding in the little taxis, you know, and they had like the Roman music. I mean, the Roman entry, like gladiator style. Yeah. You know, there is a different director of photography this year. Like it's been the same guy for many years, and he left. They have a new person now, and I really think the show is a lot more fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the part of the season where that breathes through a little bit more. It's not as noisy and it's not as busy. Sorry. The first few episodes, it's just, they got to get through so much. It's a conveyor. It's an assembly line of content. Whereas now they can kind of slow down and sing a little bit.
Yep. All right. Talk about singing.
Yeah. I mean, well, can we do the whole duo thing here now?
Oh goodness. So I will say, I was surprised. Okay, so in case you didn't watch it, which we all know you did, Michelin North America create a dish featuring rabbit. They get 30 minutes, $400. That's a ton of money. And then they have these 24 mystery diners. I hated the mystery diner.
Okay, well, it's not 24 mystery diners. There's five mystery diners
that's right.
that voted, yes.
Yes, but I hate it. I hate, were those people experienced? Were those people whatever? Because I'm telling you, I'll have people come to I'll go to an event and I trust my little sister and I know she has a great palate. And we'll go to an event. She'll be like, oh my God, did you taste Jimmy Bob's dish? She's like, it was the best one here. And in my mind, I'm thinking that dish was horrible. That dish was under seasoned. That just wasn't good. And maybe it is about the consistency. And that is the thing Michelin's looking for. And so maybe I'm getting a different dish than my sister's getting. But I'll have people say like, oh, that was the best dish at the event. And I'm thinking, yuck, that was grody. Or like, not anything against the chefs at the other events, but who were those people? Were those just random people?
This is my problem. This is my problem with that. I'm glad you brought this up, is I was waiting for the reveal.
Yeah.
They did like the little like hiding their identity thing, which was a cool way to introduce the mystery diner. They tagged a mystery diner and they wouldn't show their face in the same way that Garlic and Sapphires, who was the book, I have it here somewhere. The New York Times food critic who wrote, Ruth Reichel, right?
Okay.
So Reichel, where she's like, she had to go incognito at every restaurant, and it was so fun to read. It's like one of my favorite books, and it's right here. And I was like, oh, so they're going to reveal who these people are, and they never did. I thought they were going to be like part of the local scene, or they were celebrity actors or something like that, like a band. No, it was just, they left it hanging.
Yeah. I mean, they literally let the fans write this show, right? Like they let them design the quickfire. I thought that was great. But here they let the winner be picked by other people, because I think that, well, they did say that they liked Sherry's the best and that the diners liked Sherry's the best. But I wanted the mystery people to be like chefs. I wanted them to be, like people when they revealed, we were like, oh, holy shit, there's Danielle Balloon. I can't believe no one recognized him. Whatever it was. But I wanted that. I didn't like it. They've done this a couple times now. They've let the people in the crowd choose the winner. And that's not what I'm here for. I am here for Tom and Gail and Kristen and another very respected person picking who is the best. That's what I want. I don't want the crowd to source it and pick it.
It's funny you mentioned this, because on Friday, I emceed this charity event, this fundraiser, which was a spin on Next Level Chef. It was called Next Level Hope, and it's for food insecurity and homelessness, addiction, recovery community, residential community here in Charlotte called Hope Haven. And as part of the conceit, we got a bunch of local chefs to compete for a 30-minute cook, and there was a judges table, and then there was an audience score. And it was really fun. I had a blast, and we did a lot of good for the community. But what I learned was, Sarah, the judges table, which were 4 journalists or media folks in town, had vastly different scores than the audience did. That the winner of the judges team, the judges picked, there were 3 teams. The winner of that judges team was the last place in the audience score. And it drove home how everyone could be eating the same food and have very different experiences. And whether it's the biases coming into play, or whether it's the lack of expertise coming into play on a crowdsourcing thing, all those dynamics you're going to get two very different scores based on who's scoring it. And that event, while it was a huge success and I had a blast doing it, it really taught me a lesson in game design, in that they had an audience winner and then they had a judges winner, in the same way that this week on Top Chef, they had a audience winner and the judges winner, and the audience winner mattered more than the judge. Judges luckily said, we would have had you guys at the top anyway, but Sherry, you were the winner on the audience score, or the 5 mystery diners. But you're right.
Yeah. Right now, I know who you would have picked. Without a question. You'd be like, oh, Jonathan's is delicious. The seasoning is perfect. You'd be like, it's just knocked it out of the ballpark, Jonathan. Great job.
But I have a different palate than
that's what
you
I'm saying.
do.
You like that salt. The same way on the one when you ate at the sides challenge, your table picked 2 dishes that didn't even make it in the top. Yep. So I wanted to know who the mystery diners were, because I wanted to know if they were if they were valid, not valid, not that they were invalid, but I wanted to know who they were, because I'm here to see professional chefs pick other professional chefs to be better than everyone else. So that's all right.
Luckily, it didn't backfire in a way where Tom would be like, "You're you got saved here, because actually your Sherry, your mofongo was just way too salty and it didn't work at all, or you were lacking citrus, and you got saved here, Sherry. Congratulations!" But the mystery diners saved your ass. Didn't happen in this one. That I think Seeger and Sherry are both standout dishes, but I thought Lawrence skirted this one. When the wrapper on his shumai didn't really work, and the judges noticed it, or the diners noticed, like, oh, I've never had it upside down here like this before. There wasn't really a secondary component to it, and he didn't cook it very well, or the wrapper didn't work. I thought he was going to be in the bottom for show, and he didn't. So, Sarah, what do you think about that?
Okay, this is a testament to the gameplay as a chef cooking. They didn't serve, they were serving food throughout. And normally you plate up all your plates and then they go out and you don't get to pick which plates go to the judges and all of that stuff. So he had to plate some, but I looked and all of the judges had ones that were facing the right way. So I do wonder if he had to plate those and then send the rest out, or how it was working back in the kitchen. They didn't stick. They didn't look right. They said the meat wasn't good. I don't know. I'm surprised Lawrence wasn't in the bottom. He said it was tasty, but it was not interesting. The meat was inconsistent in its size. The dumpling wrappers were store-bought, which I think in 3 hours, all he did was chop up a rabbit. It didn't even matter if he butchered the rabbit properly, because he just butchered it. He literally just sliced it off, chopped it up. That was it. So I was surprised that he did not go.
A rare miss from Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he might be the favorite going into this, and Carly Levitz at Pack Your Knives Substack just did a big breakdown about he's rolling right now, Lawrence. And of course, this episode he fell apart here in the elimination challenge. He did a nice quick fire, but I really felt like he was on the chopping block here and didn't get in the bottom. And again, the judges selected who goes home. So you are so right about this. And in ways you've been on this all season about how important it is. The judges' plates are different than the diners' plates. Yep. And you have an eye for that in ways that I missed on this one too, is I did not look to see whether those wrappers were correctly right side up and sticking for the judges' table. And it could have been a situation like us for Southern Sides, where Seeger's was the worst dish because our pork belly was not cooked correctly, but the judges, it was great. And so that's an important dynamic, because Jonathan and Anthony were both losers cut by the same sword, which is the duo versus just doing a single thing. And before we get to just the Rhoda, it was interesting to see Lawrence say, I regretted doing the store-bought wrapper, and that didn't come back to bite him at judges' table. And Rhoda also said, the Gigante beans did not work well, didn't cook all the way through, so I decided to pull it. And Tom was like, good job, way to go. That's the way to go.
I mean, Lawrence and Anthony used the same wrappers, right? It's the same thing. Mm-hmm. He just steamed his. And, when you get those wrappers, there's a lot of like cornstarch on them, right? And they put that cornstarch on there to make sure they don't stick to each other. So I would think that would affect something like shumai. Anthony, it looked like he fried his things, and then in an effort to make them more presentable, he trimmed the edges off. So he said, I'm going to wrap them up tight so that all of the fat stays inside. And then he cooked them, and then he cut the ends off so that all of the fat could leach right out. So that didn't make any sense. I thought Rhoda's looked pretty rustic is the word they used. They said that the rabbit wasn't tender. Her kidneys, and I don't know if she had kidneys or livers, but they were still pink in the middle, and that's how you want rabbit. Yeah. They didn't like the tomatoes. They loved the tomatoes. The broth wasn't, hers did not at all look like a Michelin dish.
Would you put Rhoda and Lawrence behind Seeger and Sherry at this point in the competition? No, it was interesting that Rhoda and Lawrence, I feel like, are in the middle here, and they didn't perform very well, but I still think I would put them as the favorites going forward.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. And it's not when you want to be missed, but thankfully for them, Anthony and Jonathan were in the bottom, because Jonathan, my plate wasn't an hors d'oeuvre, I thought was a sexual innuendo joke, because Gail was like, the ball it was too big or whatever, my meat was too big or whatever. But I think it was actually more of a jab at Anthony. And Anthony was like, oh, okay, shots fired. So I think it worked on both levels.
Well, they said, I think they were like, it's just more like a collection of like canapes is what they had mentioned at judges' table. My favorite part about that whole sexual innuendo was that Rhoda is like, oh, does your back hurt? Because he just ran a train on you. And I would be like, Rhoda, it's not running a train. Running a train is a different thing.
Very different thing, yeah.
Throwing somebody under the bus. Those are, I don't know where you're like, but she's like, oh, he ran a train on you, or he drove the train over your back or something. I was like, no, girl, you got the words wrong. It's under the bus.
Threw you under the bus and the skid marks from the bus tires.
Oh,
that would have been great if he was like, sorry, you mixed your metaphors there. It's actually this. Like,
but he didn't throw him under the bus. All he commented on, I didn't think he threw him under the bus. All he commented on was like, hey, you guys said his was an canapé or an appetizer, and now you're saying that mine is too big. Mine is an entree. So like, mine's an entree, mine's too big, his is too little. Like, what do you want? So I didn't think that line, that was out of line. Plus, you're standing up there in front of the judges. You've made it to the top 6. One of you is about to go home. And they say to you, why should you get to stay? They do it every time. They ask you, they give you the opportunity to say why you should get to stay. And sometimes those comments, they share them without the frame of reference that they just said, why should you stay? And he said, mine was an entree. You asked for an entree. I gave you an entree. So I think that, I do think if he had just done the croquette, they would have said it was not enough.
Oh.
Or they would have said, like, you only gave us one thing and it was too salty all everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. Maybe because it was Michelin. It's supposed to be Michelin. It's supposed to be like this. If he had been the perfect croquette, if it hadn't been over seasoned, then maybe.
Bonjour, compadre. It's the
Priceline Negotiator.
How do I negotiate so many great travel deals? My greatest gadget, the Priceline app. It's got hotel deals, flight deals, rental car deals, all of those deals in a bundle. Deals, game day deals, concert trip deals. No one deals more deals than Priceline. Hold your horses, there's more. The app lets you filter hotels by neighborhood, vibe, star level, and amenities like pools and spas and beachfronts and... Wait, I'm not done. Stop cutting me off.
Priceline.
Blowing ad budget on metrics that look great till the CFO sees them. That's bull spend. And marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
I remember telling my boss, it'll be good for the brand, when leads were slow. Yeah, it wasn't.
Cut the bull spend. LinkedIn lets you target by company, job title, and more. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
I was surprised we didn't get like a Michelin judge or a Michelin HQ rep on the diner's table there. You know? It seemed like they were gonna do a Michelin themed, and then something backed out, or they couldn't book someone, and then they kind of had to bring in a cyclist in there to kind of like fill in the gap. Because I thought it was just a layup to have a Michelin, the CEO or the head food critic, I don't know what the word is, but to have them at the dining table, the judges table, because it just they threaded that needle with the cyclist who is on the judges table. But I kind of thought it was going to be more Michelin driven. And I know it was part of the challenge, but
I will say though, Top Chef gets in bed with James Beard, not with Michelin. So like Top Chef, they offer James Beard stuff. They do a lot of James Beard events. The winner gets to like present and cook at the house. So when I heard all the Michelin stuff, even though I was like, they're going to have a Michelin challenge. I called it as one of my challenges. Yeah, they didn't have anybody there like representing them. So
the power dynamics there is something that in the sports world, I always get really nerdy about, is the agencies and the influence of the little politics behind the scenes. And there is that element where the judges aren't getting a feature in the Michelin Guide or whatever it is, the winner of Top Chef. They're cooking at the James Beard Foundation, the James Beard House, a meal, and they have an event. So it's part of the branding of the show is James Beard, not necessarily Michelin, but they are in Greenville. So they had to do a nod to Michelin in one of these episodes while they're there. So Jonathan is in the bottom. He squeaks by. The braised meat was a little too salty. It was over seasoned, which, to each their own. I would have probably loved it. But Anthony just simply was way too dry. Didn't feel like it was a cohesive dish. They felt like it was canapes on. I think that was Kristen's critique, was just like, I felt like I just got a bunch of canapes on a dish, on a plate, not really a full meal there. I liked what he was going for. The Bugs Bunny, I got a kick out of the whole Bugs Bunny carrot thing. Do we know, or do bunnies or rabbits actually eat carrots, or is that just like an old wives' tale?
I mean, I'm sure they eat carrots, they eat vegetables. I don't know. I feel like all the squirrels eat my carrots. Like when I was trying to grow carrots one year, I felt like all the squirrels, I don't know. I think that's who was eating them. I don't know who's eating them, but what did you say? You said it was a collection of, or not a cohesive dish? Is that what you said?
I think they said for Anthony.
Tom said when he goes to do his thing, and he's like talking about what it is, he said it was a collection of ingredients and not a cohesive dish. And I knew right away it was Anthony then, because they made the comment that like, even though Jonathan's was overseasoned, there were two distinct, like there was a sauce for the leg and a sauce for the breast, or for the loin. And if Anthony had plated that dish differently, I think it would have been different. But also his meat was just not cooked properly. Jonathan's meat was still cooked, I think, better than Anthony's.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom's right. You cannot rest rabbit. There's more fat in chicken than there is in rabbit. You can't rest it. So I think that Anthony was the choice. Yeah.
Any thoughts on Nikki Nakayama, the guest judge here, or any Greenville, South Carolina? I mean, we're going to Asheville next. So we're leaving. Here's Piper, our dog. Hey, Pipes, go ahead. Go. Yeah, you're good. We're going to Asheville, into the mountains, and it's not geographically close to Greenville. So they're kind of going southeast and then heading back up to Asheville for an episode. And here comes the big snake. So yeah, we're going to Asheville, which is exciting.
I love. I mean, have you been to Asheville?
Oh yeah,
yeah. People that there's always that thing. Like, are they going to do the Biltmore? Right? Because I feel like they should, but if they don't, I mean, I get it. Well, maybe they're not going to do the Biltmore because they're like out in the woods. They're not doing like fancy pants stuff,
but the Biltmore Forest is like gigantic, so they might be actually on the grounds of the Biltmore. Because I mean, I'm going to look this up, but the Biltmore, like you'll go like 4 exits on I-40 and it'll still be like, we're in the Biltmore Forest. For those who don't know, the Biltmore is okay. All right, so I'm going to pull this up. Biltmore Forest is the second wealthiest town in North Carolina by per capita. In 1916, a substantial flood in Asheville damaged the Biltmore estate. The Biltmore Company sold the affected land. This is not what I wanted. I want to know more about the Biltmore House. Well, this is great podcasting.
George Vanderbilt.
Yes.
So, like the richest motherfucker in America at the time, right? Yeah, so the Biltmore is Vanderbilt. They have like the most beautiful gardens there. It's real fancy, real fancy.
It's incredible. I want to say it's America's largest home built by. Yeah, this is how big it is. Okay, it is the largest privately owned house in the United States. It was built between 1889 and 1895. It is, get this, 178,000 square feet of floor space and 135,000 square feet of living area. This was, have you been watching Celebrity Jeopardy with Mina Kimes? Our friend Mina Kimes was in the finale, and the final Jeopardy question had something to do with the Vanderbilts, and so Biltmore's having a moment right now.
You know who I'd love to see as the guest judge next week? I don't know if they showed them or not, and if they did, I'm sorry I missed that. I'd love to see Ashley Shanti.
Oh yeah, she's got to be
right. Like she's got to be at the table. She just won a media award for her cookbook. I've got it back here behind. There's all cookbooks behind here, and it is such an amazing cookbook, and the photography is like really cool and bright. And she won an award last year. Also, she's in Asheville. Yeah, I want to see Ashley Shanti.
All right, so you're right. So this cookbook is Our South. It is Black Food Through My Lens by Ashley Shanti. And she won that award. And your Sarah Bradley cookbook, when is it coming out, your cookbook?
September 29th.
That's right.
You got to pre-order it now.
September.
You should pre-order. It should be good.
Pre-order it now. And Ashley,
it is a really great cookbook. It is, the stories are so well written, and like the paper is thick, and like the art is cool, and like it's a really nice cookbook. So I would definitely suggest that.
Okay. Yeah, because you have a greater appreciation for it now that you've gone through the process.
Oh shit! So process.
I can tell you're just like, it's so admiration for what she did there.
Yeah.
Well, I think she's going to be there. You are going to. I mean, in a way, there's kind of a piece for me is that I can watch each episode like I'm watching the March Madness tournament without a team or a bracket. Like I'm just watching to have fun now. I don't have a dog on the fight.
I am just saying though, and we know we know how many possible points are left, right? And I get all of them. So.
And all of the negatives too, okay?
That's what I'm saying. But yeah, so does it just, they don't cancel each other out, do they? No, yeah.
No. The winner gets 25. So you're going to get, no matter what, banking in the 25. I mean, right? So we got Seeger, Jonathan, Rhoda, Sherry, and Lawrence. The point totals for what we have right now is Lawrence is at 65, Sherry at 41, Rhoda at 24, Jonathan at 23, and Seeger at 9. So Lawrence with 3 wins, 4 elimination challenge wins under his belt, and then 1, 2, 2 quickfires, one as a solo quickfire winner. Heavy favorite, Lawrence, but he stumbled in this episode. So there is still some tension here and some drama that we feel like Lawrence, it may be the favorite with Rhoda, but certainly not to the extent that it's over. You're not taking Lawrence over the field.
What are Lawrence's other bottoms? Like, what are his other, like, when he's in the bottom?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Because I feel like when he's a little out of his element, like when he's out of his element, he is out of his element, right? Like he was like, I am not a Michelin chef. I've never worked there. Started cooking when I was 27. I'm only 38. Like, I think he had a lot of self-doubt. And so, he didn't know what to do. So some of these, if they don't align with like his style of cooking, then I wonder, how he's going to do.
He was in the bottom for the Whitewater Center episode 5. Rhoda got eliminated in that one, but the dish was, I'm pulling this up right now. That was the brassica salad with trail mix. It was too overdressed. It was a creamy sesame dressing and pomegranate glass. Remember that little like fruit roll up on the top of it that he did? It was greasy, overdressed, and wasn't their best work. And Rhoda, the roasted monkfish ended up sending her home. But that episode, he was not, the dehydrated food was not his favorite, or not his best work either.
Yeah. I mean, I would probably pick, I'm going to guess that Jonathan goes home next. Absolutely not because Jonathan got the family call. They open with Jonathan in the family call. Okay, so I feel like we have seen some statistics on how that plays out. Either Jonathan wins, he loses, or he's in the middle for next episode. I'm calling it now.
It seems fairly straightforward because there isn't like, there was the snake thing that they did in the preview, but there wasn't like there's serious drama. Someone's going home and there's a fight, or they're backstabbing each other. But the drama was that rat snake, which by the way is not poisonous. Molly at Whitewater Center in the woods here in Charlotte almost stepped on a rat snake, and it was like, oh no, a snake. But it was like, they'll bite, but it's not like a poisonous snake. Whereas that snake was right on Lawrence's foot. Like it was right there. And the fact that Tom was like calmly, like in a very Tom, hey, just heads up, watch out for that snake there. Not like, hey, Like he was just very calm and collected, like just great bedside manner. He'd be a great doctor, I think. Just be like, hey, here's the deal. There's a snake over by your foot. You might want to check that out. That was close.
Yeah. But I think we got the Jonathan call. So either we need to get really invested in Jonathan, or he got his shot with his family, and that's it. I don't know. Mm-hmm. We'll see.
I'm gonna read up if there's not a book about the history of salt and pepper. I'm gonna maybe
there are some history. There's a great book about the history of salt and all the wars that have been fought over salt. Yeah, I love that history stuff. Give me more food history.
Since Tom ruined the fantasy game, why don't you both pick the final 3 now? Maze said. Maze, I don't want to do this again. She's too good. I think Team Tom needs to reset in an off season and just kind of go over, maybe bring in some new analytics or new scouting staff and try to beef up against Sarah.
I think you go blind draft from here on out, though. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know it didn't work out for you.
Yeah, it was super fun. Yeah,
it worked out for me. But I do think it speaks to the fact that, like, I don't know. Like, I'm a chef, right? Like, I'm a chef, so I should be able to look at other chefs in that way and kind of guess how they're going to do. I needed no help from the producers. We shot that all before. Just as soon as
saying this, but I don't believe you.
As soon as the list came out, because I wanted to be on the show and you wanted to be on the show, and I was like, we got to do this before.
I know what we did, but the fact that you had 5 of the final chefs, it's just, you know what? I can't scream. I can't cry to the refs here. You just beat my ass. That's it. You know, I had Anthony as my number one pick, and I'm glad that my number one pick went as far as he did, almost to the finale. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of you, Anthony. Thanks for hanging in there. Dwen, fan favorite, like you said, so I feel great about picking Dwen. And Oscar, also a fan favorite. So while they didn't make it to this far in the competition, I'm still, and you know what? As they say, if they redo this show 10 times, I think Jossie ends up further in the competition than he showed. So I don't know. 9 times out of 10, maybe Jossie's in the finale. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I don't know about 9 times out of 10.
Well, you picked Jossie high on your big board too. So
I did. I wanted I was going to pick Jossie, and you took him.
Yeah.
And that was going to be for my second round of picks. I don't know. I do like the way Jonathan is a different person without his brother around.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Yeah. I don't know. There's not a single one of those plates I didn't want to eat. I did want to eat. I wanted the tostada for the quick fire. That's what I wanted.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I wanted. And then, yeah, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, I would not have wanted, I love shumai, but I would not have wanted, I would have been like, this is it. You know?
If you're going to serve shumai, if you're going to serve a simple food like that, like it has to be perfect, right? It has to be perfect.
It wasn't. Lawrence almost went home. Wow. Like that. I mean, that feels like one of the headlines here in this episode is Lawrence. Before we go. Again, with the whole, you get an advantage or immunity, but we're not gonna really talk about it. Lawrence got $500 versus $400, and it was just kind of sprung upon them in this episode. It was like, oh, by the way, Lawrence, you're going to get $100 because you won last time in the elimination challenge. I feel like we're just kind of, the whole winning the elimination challenge, we're not really sure or not playing that up how much it pays dividends in the next episode enough.
Lawrence could have probably made that dish with like $50, right? I don't mean that in like a shit way. Like it was like cornstarch or however he velveted it. I don't know, usually cornstarch.
That's such a good point.
Store-bought wrappers and broth.
He didn't take advantage, or it didn't seem like he took advantage of his advantage, you know, with the $500.
Yeah.
Wow. You're right. I didn't even think about that. Lawrence, it's, you know what? You have to have a mind like a goldfish. You got to just flush it not like a goldfish. That's a mixed metaphor, but.
Or like flush the goldfish down the drain.
No, you have to have a memory like a goldfish. 3 seconds
I thought you were
memory.
saying like flush the goldfish because it's dead.
I know. I started mixing the metaphor. It didn't work. Flushing the goldfish is not what I meant, but like that's where you got to flush it out of your system, and you have to have a mind of a goldfish and just forget about it and move on. I don't know why I'm talking like I'm a coach for Lawrence. He's not on my team. He's on your team, but he doesn't need any extra of it. I'm just saying that was a tough episode for Lawrence. All right, they're going back on the road in their Chrysler van, Town and Country, and they're going to Asheville, going to the mountains. Very excited because after Hurricane Helene, Asheville needs a lot of people, tourism, to come back to the city and celebrate it. I'm going on a guy's trip to Asheville in the fall. Really excited about it. We're going to do a fantasy football draft and live and in person. So yeah, it's gonna get bloody out there in Asheville.
I feel like maybe next year we should embrace like the loser has to do something, you know, like it's like the draft, like there's the draft winner and the draft loser.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a punishment, like a fantasy
punishment. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Maze we can come up with something. He's the arbiter. He's our Adam Silver of the show. So we'll see what he says. Anything coming up that you wanna Thomas. I already did that. It was fine. I don't think that's a punishment for me. It's not a punishment for me. That's a punishment for Sarah. Maze says that I have to cook for Sarah. That doesn't make any sense. I would say, Sarah, yeah. Is there anything?
I get to choose the dish. I was like, what you have to cook for me? No. And then you have to serve me and my children, and we get to like stand there and critique you and judge you. Like,
that
now we're just making it too much.
That does.
We'll come up with something. I like this though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably get my ass kicked next season. So there we go.
All right. Well, we got we got a few more episodes left, and I feel like there's no one that's not in the competition now that doesn't deserve to be there. As much as Anthony, I believe in Anthony, and I believe in Dwayne. I feel like the best chefs performing right now. Not that they're the best chefs. Like I would put Dwayne and Anthony over Seeger and Jonathan, but they've earned it. I can't say that they haven't cooked well enough to deserve their spot.
I will say that I don't think I also will lean into you saying that there are no chefs that don't deserve to be there. But if Seeger wins, I'll flip the table, right? Like, because he technically got sent home. He technically didn't cook his way back in from Last Chance Kitchen. He got back because I'm not saying that his food isn't great. I've always liked his dishes. I like the way he cooks. But he is there on a technicality, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He on a technicality, and I would like to say he was very kind to us in person.
Oh, so nice.
He was great. We had a great time hanging out with Seeger when he was in town. I think it's been a really good season, and I think the chefs that are remaining in the show are. I'm very excited to see Lawrence try to win this thing. I think Lawrence, even though he slipped up here, I think he'd be an awesome winner. Same with Rhoda. I mean, they're all great, but we'll see. We'll see. Go check out Pack Your Knives Substack. Carly's got a great write-up on the history of Lawrence type runs in the show, 4 elimination challenges wins, and another 2 in the quick fire. Go check that out, as well as the Track Your Knives side podcast that we do with Carly and Kendra. They're doing an awesome job this season. And go follow us on Instagram at Pack Your Knives for all of that stuff. For Sarah Bradley, I'm Tom Haberstroh, and this is Pack Your Knives.